All right. Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive.
Mm.
And this time, we're going to be diving into 6G.
Oh, yes.
So the future of connectivity.
The future is here or almost here.
Almost here, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because, 5G is still rolling out.
Yes, it is still rolling out.
And, people are still trying to figure out, do they really need it?
Right.
But the tech world is already like years ahead.
Absolutely. That's how it works.
And they're talking about 6G. And I think for the average person, you just kind of hear these things. And you're like, okay, well, that sounds cool, but like, what is it really going to do for me?
Right. What does it mean for me sitting here on my couch?
Exactly. Yeah. Am I going to be able to download movies faster? Is that what we're talking about?
You will be able to download movies faster, that's for sure.
Okay.
But it's really so much more than that.
Okay. Well, let's unpack that then.
Yeah.
Because we have a few different sources here.
Yes, we do.
Talking about this future of 6G.
Yeah.
And what it's all about. And, kind of one of the first things that jumps out at me from these sources is that they're saying that, as technology evolves, so do our needs. And 5G, it's great. It's doing its thing, but, it's not going to cut it.
It's not going to be enough.
For like 2030 and beyond.
Exactly. Because think about all the devices that are going to be connected. I mean, we're talking billions of devices.
Self-driving cars.
Self-driving cars, smart cities.
Smart refrigerators.
Everything. Everything, right?
Yeah, and all of that communicating in real time.
Right. So 5G is just not really built for that.
No, it's not designed for that volume of data or that complexity.
So it's really interesting because, you start to think about, okay, so 6G is faster. I get it, but how much faster are we talking about?
Oh, it's a lot faster.
Yeah.
We're talking up to 100 times faster than 5G.
100 times, wow.
Up to 1 terabit per second.
1 terabit per second, that's insane.
A lot of data. I don't even think I can really comprehend what that means. Like, what can you even...
Well, think about it this way.
Yeah.
You could download an entire HD movie in less than a second.
In less than a second.
Less than a second.
Okay, yeah. No, that's definitely faster than what we have now.
And it's not just about speed, it's also about latency.
Latency, yeah.
The delay between sending a signal and receiving a response.
Right.
6G will have ultra-low latency, less than 1 millisecond.
Okay, so what does that mean for, the average person?
Well, imagine playing a VR game with 0 lag.
Okay, no lag.
Or attending a concert halfway across the world as a hologram.
A hologram. What?
In real time, it'll feel like you're actually there.
That's wild. Okay, so it's not just about, downloading things faster and having, less lag.
Yeah.
On my video games, it's like, really?
It's about transforming how we interact with the world.
Transforming. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Okay, so we're talking about holograms.
Yeah.
And, these incredible speeds and all this stuff. But I can't help but think that there are some pretty big challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
To making all of this happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the hurdles that the researchers are facing?
Well, first of all, we need a whole new infrastructure.
Like, what do you mean by that?
We can't just upgrade our existing cell towers. We need a completely different network architecture.
Ah, okay.
One that can handle these speeds and data volumes.
Okay, so that's a pretty big undertaking in itself.
It is, and then there's the issue of energy efficiency.
Right, because powering all of this.
It's going to take a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how to make 6G sustainable.
Right, so that we're not, destroying the planet
Exactly.
in the process.
We need to be mindful of that.
Okay, and then there's this whole thing about terahertz waves.
Ah, yes. Terahertz waves.
What are those?
Well, they're electromagnetic waves, but with a much higher frequency than the radio waves used in 4G and 5G.
So like higher frequency, more data.
Exactly. It's like going from a garden hose to a fire hose in terms of how much data you can pump through.
Got it. Okay, so that makes sense. But then the articles also talk about how they have shorter range and are easily absorbed by things like water vapor.
That's the trade-off.
That's how do you overcome that?
Well, researchers are looking into things like intelligent reflecting surfaces.
What? Intelligent reflecting surface? What is that?
Imagine tiny adjustable antennas placed everywhere on buildings, lampposts, everywhere.
Okay.
These antennas act like smart mirrors.
Smart mirrors.
Bouncing the terahertz waves around obstacles to give you better coverage.
Wow, that's really interesting.
It's pretty ingenious.
Yeah. So, okay, a lot of challenges. They seem to be coming up with some creative solutions.
That's what research and development is all about.
So when are we actually going to see this? Like, when can we expect?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Most predictions say early 2030s for widespread deployment.
Early 2030s. Okay, so not too far off.
Not too far off, but there's still a lot of work to do.
And who's working on this? Who's leading the charge?
It's a global race, but countries like the US, China, and Japan are definitely at the forefront.
Okay, so big implications then, not just for technology, but for...
For the economy, for global politics, for everything.
Yeah, you're right. It's all connected.
It is.
Okay, so to recap, I guess what we're really talking about here is a future where 6G could completely revolutionize the way we live and work and interact with the world around us.
It's a whole new level of connectivity.
Right, with mind-blowing speeds.
Mm-hmm.
And, applications like holographic communication and remote surgery.
And who knows what else we haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah, the possibilities really do seem endless.
They do.
But of course, as with any new technology, we have to be mindful of the challenges.
Right, we need to think about the ethical implications, the potential downsides, and make sure we're using this technology responsibly.
Responsibly. Yeah, that's key.
It is.
And that's something for all of us to think about.
Exactly, because the future is in our hands.
Well, thank you for taking us on this deep dive into the world of 6G.
It's been a pleasure.
It's certainly given us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our listeners are going to have a lot to ponder as well.
I hope so.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Happy connecting.